Assalamu alaikum YouTube. My name is Hassan Aziz and today we'll be grilling some strip loin steaks here. To clarify some lingo, strip loin, New York steak, Kansas City steak, they're all the same cuts. We are just using a less geographical name. Now, when picking your meat, make sure it has as much marbling as possible. This will ensure that your steak is juicy. I like my steak close to medium, so I go for a 1-inch steak. If you go for a thicker steak, you would get close to rare. And if you go for a thinner steak, it'll be more well done. Moving on to seasoning. You'll see salt, pepper, and garlic. Now, olive oil is typically a good starting point, but that's when you're cooking your steak on a pan or reverse searing it. When you're putting it on the grill, it often flares up. So I like to start off with salt. Be generous with your seasoning, put some pepper and some garlic. Be sure to use your hands and pat it down so the seasoning goes deep. Make sure you flip the steak and season it exactly the same way, and also do the edges. Once the seasoning is done, it's time to refrigerate. It's completely optional, and if you choose to do so, you can do it till overnight. But the key is to take it out about 20 minutes before you put it on the grill. Now, it's not a big deal if you're cooking a rare steak, but if you want the steak to be well done, then having that internal temperature to be as close as possible to the external temperature is important. And this is what it looks like out of the fridge. Notice the darkness. All the salt has been soaked up by the meat. Over to the basting butter. Take softened butter, minced garlic, Worcester sauce, and thyme. If you're pan searing it, you can add these ingredients as is. But for grilling, it's best to mix them really nicely and create a fluffy base. Soon, we'll see how this base can be used to add up some great flavor to our steak. Now that our steak is at room temperature and our basting butter is ready, it's time to cook our meat. Our grill needs to be hot, and by that we mean as hot as it can get. You want to make sure you oil those grates really nicely. This helps your steak and your seasoning not to get stuck on the grate. Now it's time to put that steak on that grill. Make sure you put it at a 45-degree angle and you close the lid. You should hear a sizzle, and when you do that, you make sure you press that steaks down. There's a saying when you're barbecuing, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. So make sure you have that lid closed. Now with these steaks, they're about 1 inch thick. We want medium doneness. We'll cook them about 5 minutes each side. Since we want some grill marks on them and we want even cooking, we'll turn them every 2.5 minutes on each side. On that turn, avoid putting it in exactly the same place. Try to find the hottest spot on that grill and press it down. Now these look done. It's time to take them off the grill and put them on our board. Now it's time to have that steak rest on butter. Add a dollop of that basting butter at the bottom and a generous layer on top and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. This ensures that the steak is still cooking and the juices are settling in. And when you cut through that steak, it will still be hot. Now, slicing that strip loin can be tricky. It has a layer of fat on the side along with some tissue. So make sure your knife is nice and sharp. Try to have those slices as evenly sliced as possible, and I usually go for the pencil thickness. And once you're done, flatten your pieces slightly so they soak up all the juices. And there you have it, fully cooked, not overdone, reaching a medium. Now, it's time to crack open a chilled ginger beer and enjoy that steak. And as you can see, we devoured that steak and didn't last long. Hope you found this useful. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.